The rain was coming down in sheets, blurring headlights and washing the color from the world. In a nearly empty grocery store on the edge of a quiet suburb, 17-year-old Lily Carter stood behind an elderly man, fumbling with his wallet. His fingers trembled, his coat damp, and his grocery cart held just a few basic essentials: bread, milk, a can of soup, and a small birthday cake. "I'm so sorry. I thought I had a 20 in here," he murmured, his voice frayed with embarrassment. The cashier shifted uncomfortably as the line behind them grew. Without hesitating, Lily stepped forward, swiped her debit card, and gave the man a soft smile. "It's okay, really." The old man turned to her, eyes glistening. "You didn't have to. It's no problem," she said. "Happy birthday, sir." He didn't say another word, just placed a hand over hers for a brief moment. Then he shuffled out into the rain, disappearing into the shadows like a ghost. Lily thought nothing more of it. But 3 hours later, just as dusk turned to night, 3 black SUVs rolled slowly down her street and stopped in front of her modest home. Engines idling, windows tinted, silent. Lily watched from the front porch, heart pounding. "What the—" The door of the lead vehicle opened, and a man in a suit stepped out. Lily Carter was an ordinary teenager living an ordinary life. A high school senior juggling college applications, part-time shifts at the coffee shop, and late-night cram sessions. She wasn't wealthy, but her family had enough. Her dad worked at the post office. Her mom stayed home to help care for her younger brother Noah, who had cerebral palsy. That rainy Tuesday had started like any other. Lily had just finished her shift at the coffee shop and stopped by Miller's Market to pick up some cereal and paper towels. The old man in line, frail, wearing a navy pea coat 2 sizes too big, looked like someone's forgotten grandfather. He had tried to hide his embarrassment, but she saw it, and she couldn't walk away. She told her mom about it briefly when she got home. "Just paid for some old guy's groceries," she said. "He looked like he really needed a hand." Her mom had smiled. Kindness always comes back around, but neither of them expected it to come around that fast. Now standing on the porch, Lily felt her skin prickle as the suited man approached, a second man following behind. Her father stepped outside protectively, placing himself between the strangers and his daughter. "Can I help you?" her father asked. The man in the suit held up a badge. "My name is Agent Rhodes. We need to speak with Lily Carter." "About what?" her father demanded. "It concerns an individual she interacted with earlier today. A matter of national interest." Lily's heart dropped. "Wait, the old man at the grocery store?" The agent nodded slowly. "Yes, that man is not who you think he is." The living room felt like a movie set. 3 agents, Lily's stunned family, and an atmosphere thick with confusion. Agent Rhodes explained in calm, practiced tones. "The man you helped today," he said, "is a former intelligence operative. One of the best. He's been off the grid for years, presumed dead. Until today." Lily blinked. "You mean, like a spy?" Rhodes nodded. "Better than a spy. His name is Thomas Calloway. He dismantled entire crime networks, disrupted foreign plots, and disappeared after a botched operation in 2009. We believed he was assassinated." "But why was he buying cake and soup in a grocery store?" her mother asked. "We're not entirely sure, but your act of kindness forced his hand. He left traces, security footage, a card swipe. We've been tracking those breadcrumbs for over a decade." Lily's father looked angry. "And you brought this to our house? What if someone's following him?" "They might be," Rhodes admitted, "which is why we're here, to protect your family and to ask your daughter for help." Lily's jaw dropped. "Me? Calloway left a note in the cake box," the agent said, pulling out a small slip of paper in an evidence bag. It read, "She reminded me why I stayed hidden, but also why I might return. He trusts you," Rhodes said, "and we believe he may reach out again. If he does, it could change everything." The following 24 hours were a blur. FBI surveillance teams were positioned on the street. Lily's phone was monitored, her computer inspected. She wasn't allowed to go to school. She wasn't even allowed to leave the house without an escort. But at 9:14 p.m. the next night, it happened. A small envelope was slipped through the mail slot. No one saw who delivered it. Inside, a handwritten note in spidery cursive, "Tell Agent Rhodes I'll meet him, but only if she's there too." 6th in Juniper. Midnight. Come alone. The agents debated for hours. Some insisted it was a trap. Others said it was their only chance. In the end, they agreed. Lily would go, wearing a wire, monitored from a van parked blocks away. She arrived at the intersection just before midnight. It was quiet, the city asleep, fog rolling in from the river. Then from the shadows of a closed bookstore, he emerged. Thomas Calloway looked smaller than she remembered. Bent, slow-moving, but his eyes were alert, razor-sharp. "You didn't have to do what you did," he said, voice gravelly. Lily shrugged. "I just thought you could use a little help." He studied her for a long time. Then from his coat, he pulled a flash drive. "This is everything. Proof of corruption, double agents, operations gone rogue. I've held on to it for years." He handed it to her. "Give this to Rhodes and tell him I'm done running." Before she could reply, he vanished into the fog once more. Back at headquarters, the flash drive was enough to open dozens of cases. Arrests were made, hidden operations dismantled. People whose names had only existed in shadows were dragged into the light. Lily returned to her normal life, or tried to. She received a scholarship from a foundation she'd never heard of. Her family received government protection for several months, though the threats never materialized. The media never heard about it. The files were classified. Even Lily's closest friends never knew the full story. But a month later, on her birthday, another envelope arrived in the mail. No return address. Inside was a birthday card and a note. "Sometimes one small act of kindness opens 1,000 locked doors. Thank you. TC." And tucked inside the card? 2 plane tickets to Washington, D.C., one for her and one for her little brother, Noah. The note continued. "You said he always wanted to see the Smithsonian. Thought I'd help with that." Lily smiled, eyes watering. In the end, she never saw Thomas Calloway again. But she would always remember the moment when one small choice, a simple act of humanity, intersected with history, not for glory, not for fame, just because it was the right thing to do. And sometimes, that's how the world truly changes.